Welcome to the Dalen Show, people. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hope life is treating every single one of you well. I'm doing well myself. I cannot complain. I'm having a blessed week. I'm having a blessed day. I've got a lot done. I've got a lot of reading done, which is something I'm trying to improve on. Um, and I'm all relaxed and good. I'm having a great day, a great week. School is over. Yes, sir. School is over. We on summer break. Hope you guys enjoy your summer, wherever you're doing, wherever you're going. Enjoy. If you're staying home, enjoy your little house and catch up with some TV shows, do whatever you please, man. But enjoy your summer break, everyone. We're back at it again with another episode. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. I've been getting excited every episode so far, and I'm blessed again to be able to talk to you guys, whether it's your phone, your TV, whatever it is. Appreciate you guys for letting me come in your little speakers and get my crunchy voice on and talk. So I appreciate you guys again. But I get excited for anything. But when we have a Arkansas himself, we love to see it. We love to improvise. We love to inspire. We love to get hyped. We see the hog cat. We see the hog cat. Everybody, please welcome to the show my man, big brother, Mr. Gary Burton. Everybody clap him up. Yes, sir.
How y'all doing, man? Good to be here, man. I appreciate you having.
Anytime, man. We appreciate you for spending the time with us today. First off, how's life treating you? How's the pandemic going for you? And how's everything going? I know your son. I see the Suns fan back there, man. I know you guys are hype right now, but how's life treating you? And how's everything going for you as of right now, man?
Well, so far, besides it being extremely hot out here in Mississippi, I know it's the same way in Arkansas, man. But besides it being extremely hot, as far as pandemic wise, man, everything seems like we're creeping back. Mm-hmm. But still, we're definitely taking precautions. But life-wise, man, I can't complain. I'm healthy, family healthy, friends healthy, And like you said, my sons be looking good. Ravens, we creeping. I know I'm just talking right now, but it's good to be here. And everything, I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
We love to see it, and we wish the best for your son. Devin Booker is my favorite player, just to let you know that. But for the listeners that may not know who you are, Mr. Gary, just give them a brief overview of who you are as a person, what it is you're doing right now, where you're from, and just some things you've been able to accomplish and do over your lifetime that's gotten you to where you are today.
Got you. Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Gary Burton Jr. I work at WJTV 12 News, CBS affiliate out of Jackson, Mississippi. Born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, and proud to say that everywhere I go. I must say that. But yeah, man, I'm a news reporter, nightside news reporter, multimedia journalist, news reporter, and got into this field. Always knew that this is something that I wanted to do, to be a big time TV guy. Never shy away from the camera. That's just who I've always been, from a knee high to a duck. And I always knew that this was the field I wanted to do. Went to school at Arkansas Tech University, about an hour from Little Rock, for those that don't know. Majored in broadcast journalism and speech communication. Got my degree in that, and I was blessed with 4 months after graduating in 2019 to be able to come to Mississippi and start my career as a news reporter. So I've been here for about a year and a half. Covered pandemics, covered riots, covered police brutality, covered sports and fun stories, and it's a lot of things here in Mississippi that coming from Arkansas, you don't really know that it's that much out here in Mississippi, and it's just it's a cool thing to see, even though it's can get a little depressing at the same time. Just for an example, we're at 60 homicides so far in the city of Jackson, and it's just June. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, man? So it's definitely a job that can be depressing, but it's definitely a job that needs to be done, and I'm glad to be doing it.
I appreciate you for two things. The first one is, I know, again, I'll say it every episode when they do it. The listeners probably get tired of me saying this, but when I ask someone just to introduce themselves and just give us a brief overview of who they are, when you guys going above and beyond and give me more details, give the listeners more details, I truly do appreciate that. This is the time, and, I have a lot of guys on TV, and they're like so used to be time monitored. You're not time monitored. You do as you please, speak as you please. So I appreciate you for giving everything that you wanted to get off your chest. And I think for me, and I love again talking to guys who are doing what I want to do one day. And you said this is something that you knew you wanted to do for a long time. For me, Stuart Scott, rest in peace, the legend himself, was the person I looked to more than anybody. For you, who is that person? Who is that guy that you always, watched, you always mentored after, you always were looking at their film, anything? Who is that guy for you, or woman?
As in news?
News, sports, anything.
Okay. Well, okay. So, um, sports is number one love for me. Mm-hmm. So I would say starting off, we'll go in the sports realm. Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was my sports guy. That's who I wanted to play like as a sports undersized post, if you will. Fundamental, that type of guy. I love me some Tim Duncan. And if we flip over to the news side, I'm the type to where, depending on the story, it just, you adapt to a certain situation. And so it's people that I look to when it comes to seriousness. I love Lester Holt. Big time Lester Holt guy. He can really draw you in with the voice and just really speaking, whether it's something serious or even something fun with Lester Holt. I love the way Lester Holt delivers. Love Stuart Scott, how he deliver. Love Stephen A. crazy self on how he delivered. Scott Van Pelt. It's so many. And Dalen, like I said, I'm the type that everyone has something to bring to the table. And the more that you watch different people's craft, the more that you can bring that to yourself and create a different mold for yourself. You know what I mean? And so I look at a lot of different people. It's not just one when it comes to sports, because everyone has their own little thing. And that little thing, if it's your thing, then that's what makes you special. And I appreciate that in everybody. You know what I mean?
For you, and I'm going to get to what we usually do in a minute, but for you, with the opportunity you have now, and there's people not only looking at you, but young African-American people looking at you, what legacy do you want to leave for those, and what advice would you give for those that are always looking at you now, that are looking to be what you are 20 years from now?
You got to stay yourself. You got to stay yourself. You know, coming up, and I was even a victim of it when I first got into the field. And thank Ernie Paulson, the guy I interned at in Little Rock for KRK4 and Fox 16. He brought me in one day. I showed him some of my work, and he said, "This is not Gary Burton Jr." You know, people want to see Gary Burton Jr. You know, they don't want to see, and coronavirus numbers, that's not how I talk. You know what I mean? So we come in and we feel like we have to fit a certain mold and talk a certain way and act a certain way. Be yourself, man. Be yourself. And I'm even working on that still to this day, just being more of myself. And it's just a beautiful thing when you can just relax and just be you. That teleprompter become a little bit more easier to read when you just being you. You know what I mean? Writing those scripts become a little bit more easier when it feel like you just talking. And that's the main thing.
I appreciate that, and I really do, because I just sat down with Jay Harris, and he said something, and I love when he said it, because he got it from Stuart Scott before he passed. He said, Stuart told him, "Be you. Don't be someone else on the camera, and then someone else outside the camera. You're trying to live two lives, and I promise you're not going to be able to do it." So that touched me right there. So I appreciate that. Back to your story, Little Rock, Arkansas. For anyone that's never been to Little Rock, talk about the environment there. How has it changed from when you were growing up to now? And what do you think, the future can hold for the city of Little Rock?
Got you. Well, I was born in over by John Barrow, but we moved when I was young, really young, like 4 or 5, to West Little Rock, to the Chenal area. So I didn't grow up in tough living conditions, I must say. But I know there's a lot in Little Rock that's like that. I have a lot of friends and that grew up in that type of environment. In Little Rock, it can be both. It can be bad and it can be good at the same time. But growing up from there, seeing both and understanding just in a sense how to move in Little Rock, it's nothing but love with Little Rock for me. So, and it's still that way. Even when I come back, the chances I do get, thankfully, it's quite often only being 4 hours away. But the future of Little Rock and what we can accomplish is we have to understand that there's a lot of gems that come from Little Rock. It's a lot of great things that have came from Little Rock that people don't even know.
Yeah.
Still, I'm finding out myself, and as a kid, I feel that we have to get those gems back to Little Rock to showcase and to really have everyone appreciate. And when you got the capital city of the state, that will make the whole state just appreciate the state as a whole. There's a lot of great things from Little Rock and just Arkansas in general. I don't want to boil it down to Little Rock, but just Arkansas in general. And I'm just so proud to be from there. I'm just so proud to be from Arkansas, man.
Is a major sports fan yourself, how do you indulge? If you don't know, Arkansas, we don't have any professional sports teams. We have our Razorbacks. That's our professional sports team. But as a sports fan, how do you indulge? You talk about Tim Duncan, but how do you indulge in finding, sports teams you love or sports players that you want to, watch all the time? How do you figure out which teams you want to fall in love with or you want to stay loyal to?
It started with my Ravens and with my Suns. It started young. With the Ravens, I hated the Patriots. I tell this story a lot. Back in the day, I hated the Patriots. It was the season where they was undefeated, lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. The Ravens was close to winning that game. So I said, man, I liked it. Got to Ray Lewis and just never jumped off the bandwagon. And with the Suns, I'm a Steve Nash fan from way back when. Yeah, even though I love Tim Duncan, I hate the Spurs because of our just want that to be out there. But when it comes to your question, man, it's just the love of sports and just continuing to watch and whatever it is that hits you. I feel like it's all in the heart, especially without having a professional team here. I mean, a lot of people, they Cowboys and stuff.
Oh, don't hate on us. Don't hate on us. Oh,
a lot of people try to say the Cowboys, if you're from Arkansas, you're a Cowboy, man. That's not the case over here, man. That's not the case over here. You must be a Cowboy fan.
Don't you know the deal? You know the deal. You ain't gotta hate on us, man. Y'all hate us because y'all not us. Okay.
Y'all hate on y'allself, and y'all don't even know it.
I don't condone that. I'm not the one that goes every year we're winning the Super Bowl. No, I've never said that. I promise you. I'm that guy. I'm the realistic person. Okay, but don't hate on my Cowboys. Can't do that. We don't tolerate any of that. Okay, but
I want all the smoke.
We'll see. I got a lot of plans this year for my boys. I hope we just improve. I mean, that's all I wanted, some improvement. Last year was it was tough on me. But you went for the Maumelle situation for you. 4 years in Maumelle High School, a team captain on the football team, state championship in basketball. Talk about that experience, man. What was it like being one of the biggest probably stars at your high school, and what role did you feel like you had to play? Was it such as a lean back guy, or was it you felt like you had to be an overachiever to keep the standard with the last name on your back at all times?
Got you. Sadly, we lost that state championship to McClellan. That's a tough one that still hurt. But playing at Maumelle, great experience. I loved it there. I represent Maumelle pretty much kind of like I represent Little Rock when it comes to high school. But to answer your question, I was pretty much kind of like the coach's pet in a sense. Discipline. how I mentioned Tim Duncan. I felt that's kind of how Tim Duncan would be with Greg Popovich. And I would hold a lot of my teammates accountable. You know, if I hear them doing something or, you know, let's just run or let's just do it. You know, I was that type. I was pretty much kind of a motivator. I wasn't a hooper. I just did my job. And it's kind of who I am in life. I just do my job, man. And so advice, if I yelled, if I did, you know, it never really was pressure for me because I was always just me. I didn't feel like I was stepping into a captain role or a star or nothing like that. Play basketball and I was just me out there. You know what I mean? Shooting hook shots, taking charges. You know what I mean? Just that's who I am. Just doing what I had to do. That was my job. And I would try to influence our hoopers. Take a charge, man. You know what I mean? Even though they probably not, you know, just lay it up. Don't worry about the dunk. And I'm just rambling. I'm sorry if I'm not answering your question. But that's just who I was on the court. And nothing was really pressured or a spotlight moment of being Gary, because I never felt like that because I was just me, Gary. That's all I was.
Any rivalries, any team that you always look forward to playing against, and was there any one game that you always had marked on your schedule before the season even started for you?
Pottsville Apaches. The Pottsville Apaches. And I got to shout out my guy, Michael Perry. He actually went to Arkansas Tech with me. We played football together. Pottsville Apaches, that game went crazy. Every single time. We'll play them like 4 times a year. And back and forth. We never won at each other's home. That's what we always wanted to do. But Pottsville, man, they ended up winning the state championship in 10th grade. And we took it from them in 11th grade. We didn't get to win. We didn't go all the way. But that game, Pottsville, always circled Pottsville. Always circled is it any more? Pottsville was just the one. and if you're from Arkansas, I feel like, and if you got PA, if you see PA, Pulaski Academy on your schedule, whether it's football, basketball, just because they PA, you want to win. Like, I hate PA. All love and respect to Kevin Kelly, Coach Kelly. Yep. I can't stand PA. I feel like that's just how you should be if you're from Arkansas. They are that team. They the Patriots of Arkansas. So anytime you see PA on the schedule, you better get ready and you better wake up. And it's always going to be a fun game because they always got some balls. Always.
Props to Kevin Kelly, who is actually recently leaving the program. If you don't know that, I'm sure you do though. But for you personally, was there ever a time, you know, as being who you are, football or basketball, that you wanted to step away from either one of them and pursue different things in high school?
No, not in high school. High school, I wanted to play college. Never, I knew I didn't have talent to play pro, but I definitely wanted to experience college sports. And it wasn't until college where I had that feeling, because once you get to college, the next level is sport. I mean, it's pro. So it's just like, after this, I know I'm done. So it's just, I'm going to enjoy the love that I had for it. Because it's a job in college. Like, sports is a job in college. So when it became a job instead of becoming a hobby, that's when it was just like, okay, got 2 more years of it, and I'm ready to end it up. It's the last year. Football almost over for me. I was okay with it because it had became a job that I was ready to retire. I felt forced playing the sport instead of it just, but in high school, it was all fun. If I can go back and play some more high school ball, in a snap of a finger, I'll be there.
I want to, maybe just backtrack a little bit, but also stay in the same range and go back to what you talked about earlier. You saying that, being a journalist is what you've always kind of wanted to be, what you always wanted to do. You talked about Tim Duncan, but personally, specifically, where did that love come from, and what intrigued you the most about being a journalist? Whether it was, being a good storyteller, reading, writing your own things, whatever it is, what stuck out to you about journalism?
Yeah. TV.
Yeah.
Just the fact, like, I wanted to do a talk show. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be on ESPN. I wanted to do the news, just TV. Man, I want to be on TV. And when I got to school, that's when it really stuck with, the news business. I just knew TV, and I'm a major in this to whatever path happens. But then we started doing more shows and stuff at school, and it was like, man, this is really, really what I want to do. Like, this is cool. And news always been in the back of my head, but it wasn't until then where it was like reporting. And with the storytelling, I like how I tell stories. I feel like that's me. I legit tell the story how I would tell you in person. And I like that challenge of doing that. Can I tell this story to a person and make them understand everything in a minute and 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. A full day of reporting, can they understand this in a minute and 30 seconds? That's so cool to me. And also, one thing I love about this is I'm a loving guy. And this is a way that I can share love, in a sense. Because even if, and I know there's some stories that I've done that you can't even really even think about love, but even when it's a serious story, someone just got shot or something, if I can say it in a way that's not as extreme, and make some ease to it, I love doing it. That's who I am. I'm not a hardcore, seriousness type of guy. Mm-hmm. And that's not the type of reporter I am. And I'm blessed to be here in Mississippi, where my bosses have given me the leeway to be who I am. But to your question, those are the things that really what driven me to be a journalist, because this is a way where I can talk about serious things, talk about coronavirus, but still tell it in a way that can make a person smile, even though this is something serious.
I appreciate that a lot, because it's going to lead me to this question. I also feel I have a role for me personally as an advisor, a mentor, a helper for other people. And a lot of people, they see me and they say, oh, you're already doing what you want to do at 16. And they come at me and say, oh, I need your help to figure out what I really want to do when I graduate. And a lot of times, they try to figure out, oh, I want to be the richest person ever. I'm trying to get as much money as possible. For me personally, I know we're not gonna journalists. We're not gonna be the next Bill Gates, but also we're not living off food stamps. But what advice would you give for kids getting ready to go to the next stage in their lives that need to find what they want to do, what they love, instead of looking at it for money wise? What advice would you give for that?
Let it come to you. And time may seem like running out, but let it come to you. Just an example. I'm glad you said you're okay with us going into details, but let it come to you. And for this simple reason, for me, I didn't want to be in Mississippi. I didn't apply to Mississippi. I applied just as a joke, but seriously, from Alaska A to Z from statewide. I didn't apply though to Mississippi, Idaho, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana. Couldn't see myself living in those states. Got a few offers, wasn't what I was looking for. And then just kind of got a little frustrated with myself. I said, man, forget it. I'm going to apply to one of those states every week. I applied to WJTV, Jackson, Mississippi on Thursday. Got a call back from my news director on that Monday. That quick. Long story short, I was moving in 2 weeks. You know, it just trust the process and let it come to you. You know, we always look at, I want to go to this school and focused on that goal or focused on that dream. It's okay to have dreams, but you have to understand that sometimes those dreams aren't always meant to be true. All dreams that you dream aren't what's destined for you. You know what I mean? It's a need and a want type of difference. You know, that it's not what's destined for you. And you got to let what's planned for you to come to you. Because it will. It'll find you. And Mississippi found me. I'm happy here. Who knows how long I'll be here. I know this is not my final destination, of course. But that next step, it'll find me. But still, I'm not saying don't put no effort in, of course. You know, don't put no effort in. But that's my advice, though. It may not be the best paying. It may not be the, you know, most exciting or what else. But if something is there that makes you feel happy, do that. Do that. If you get that feeling like this could be the right thing for me, it might be. It might be, even though it may not align with the dream that you had. This, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. You get me.
Listeners, go back a minute and 30 and listen to what he just said. It'll change your life. I promise you that. I want to transition right back just one more time to Little Rock. For anyone that hasn't been to Little Rock, what was something or some place you always went to that always, if you wanted to get away from the house for a little bit, that was a place to go to? What was some place in Little Rock that was always your go-to place?
Gotta hit Pinnacle Mountain.
Yep.
You have to hit Pinnacle Mountain. I'm not even a hiker or outside person like that, but something about Pinnacle Mountain. You gotta hit. This was a spot though, Millennium Bowl. I'm gonna hit Millennium Bowl. I'm just telling my spots coming up in Little Rock, Breckenridge Movie Theater or the Rave. You know those the go-tos. We got a good bridge, the Big Dam Bridge. Downtown is amazing. Whether you're just walking with your boo thing, or whether you're just out, you know, downtown is a good spot. But the main thing about Little Rock, David, is being with who you trust and who you love. And you literally can just walk downtown and have the time of your life. You really can drive to a parking lot trying to figure out plans and be at that parking lot for 3 hours just talking and have a good time. You know, I feel like Little Rock, what makes Little Rock is the people. I love my people in Little Rock. And so we went to these places, but after the activity was done, we just chilling in the parking lot, you know, talking. That's really where the memories stand out in nights in Little Rock. That can't beat it. Can't beat it with the people that you just love.
I 1,000% agree with that. Especially if you surround yourself with the right people. You make a lot of satisfactory of what time you're spending wherever you're spending it. Now the next stage of your life after Maumelle is Arkansas Tech University, you've talked about. A dual sport athlete in high school, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that you solely just played football at Arkansas Tech. How did was there a decision for you that you decided to push away basketball and only stick to football at ATU?
I knew I couldn't play basketball at the next level. I played center all my life, and I'm just then 6'1", 6'2". I'm not good at handling the ball. I'm good at reality, and the reality is, I knew I wasn't a hooper. I knew that. I just did my job, and thankfully, I was in the best system. I did my job well, but I knew that basketball, even though that's my first love, I had dreams. I had some basketball dreams back as a kid, but I knew that I couldn't handle the ball. I'm a little big. It's not going to work in college. So I didn't even pursue it as to trying to get recruited or nothing like that. And I chose Arkansas Tech. That's where the money was. That's where the campus was okay. Campus was beautiful, I'll say that. City was cool. And that's where my scholarship was. I had a few other offers, but when you boil in the campus, and I knew some people that was going there, felt like the best fit.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Before committing to Arkansas Tech, was your mindset to stay in Arkansas, or did you want to get out of the state of Arkansas?
I wanted to go out of the state because I did want to go as a dream. I wanted to go to Florida, University of Florida. That was like the dream school. So I was always open to going out of the state, always open to getting recruited by out-of-state schools. So I never was worried about if I had to go out of state, or it wasn't a plan to stay in. Like you said, it was just the money, and it was a good fit. It's a good fit for me.
I'm big on music. What do you have bumping in your ears before a game that has you get you in the game, will get you hyped up?
That's so funny. And I'm gonna have to say it. I can't lie to you.
Don't lie.
I'm listening to blues. Johnny Taylor's in that ear. And really, bro, it's honestly whatever I want to play. If I want to hear some Youngboy, I'll play some Youngboy. If I want to hear some Moneybagg, I'll play some Moneybagg. If I want to hear Johnny Taylor, I'll play Johnny. If I want to hear Miley Cyrus, I'll play Miley Cyrus. So I want to play some Big Time Rush, I'll play Big Time. It doesn't matter, man. Like, what I want to hear, I'm going to play it, whether it's on a game day, whether it's before a test, whether it's on my way to work. If that's what I'm trying to hear, I might play some church. It don't even matter. It's never anything certain with me. It's never anything certain.
I'm grinning chin to chin, not because of what you're saying, but because that's exactly what I do.
Hey, you owe it to yourself to give yourself what you want. You can't switch it up on game day just because it's game day. I gotta listen to gangster music because it's game. No, man. No.
I feel you. Because if I want to bump some Marvin Sapp or some Tamala Man before a game, I'm gonna do it. If I want to bump some Big Time Rush before a game, I'm gonna do it, man. I like that. What was the biggest, schedule wise and time wise for you from high school to college? What was the biggest transition for you? What was the most difficult part about that? Was it, schedule, time management, or even, kind of realizing, hey, I'm on my own now for the first time?
Yeah. It was the biggest switch from high school to college was football all day, every day. That's what it, and not literally all day, every day, but football was really what you think of, like, as a college athlete. You think about practice. You think about all the decisions you make in the day is, do I have time to get a nap before practice? Or do I have time to, if I do this, do I have time to get some food before practice? Or do I have time to knock a little homework out before I go to practice? Everything is kind of centered around, will this be okay for practice? So it was just like I said, that becoming a job, you know, practice, study hall, weights, film, that just became a job. And it was just like, wow, this is a different world. I can't tell you how many times I said, you got to really love this to want to play this in pro. Like, because we think it's a job now. It's really a job in the pro. So just that schedule change to where it was very intense, and to the fact that we really, our product keeps the coaches there if we're successful. That's why they really beat us to do so much, because it's needed, because they need their job. And just understanding all of that, it was just kind of like, man, they doing too much. But in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. It's really not. But
I'm very big on, regardless of whatever it is you play, a film is something that I'm very passionate about, whether it's watching yourself, watching other teams, watching someone that you love to watch to do what they do. How much time in particular did you spend watching film, regardless of if it was yourself or preparing for the next week game or whoever it was, it may be at the pro level? How much time did you spend personally watching film, and how much were coaches on you guys as players to watch film and learn from your mistakes?
it was on us a lot. And I'll say, so we'll watch film together. We'll watch it as positions. And then, like you said, they want us to continue to watch. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't the best film watcher. Honestly, I didn't even really know how to watch film. I'll be honest with you. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't even the best college athlete. I don't want that to be. So that's maybe one of the reasons I wasn't. Like I said, when I got there after freshman year, it's just like, I'm going to do my job to kind of get my check, in a sense, to kind of not get my check, but I got to do this to get my school paid for. So I love football, don't get me wrong, but I didn't prepare as much as I should have. I didn't. And I wanted to win, still competitive, all of that. Yeah. But the amount of preparation that's needed on the college level, be honest with you, I did not prepare as much as I should have and much as I needed to be that pillar college athlete. And definitely as much as coaches wanted us to. Sorry, Coach Corbin. Sorry, Coach Jackson. If you ever see this, you probably knew it as well. But one of the things, I just didn't really understand how to watch film. It was more so kind of watch highlights. But when we knew what the scheme was and knew certain things, look out for this, then I'd understand. But I wouldn't be able to just pinpoint and pick out some things. Now, watching ESPN in a different type of setting, I can dissect something all day. I can watch a game of basketball and pretty much dissect it all day. But dissecting for play, it's a little different.
What advice would you give for kids getting ready to graduate high school and they're not, getting the offers from the schools, the monies from the schools that they really wanted to? What advice would you give for them going into maybe a school that's local and they didn't want to go to? What advice would you give them to keep working?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Because I know I got some family members in the same situation, and life gonna continue to go on. So you may not have the offers that you have. You may not have what you want to have, but if you have something, you got to take advantage of what you do have. And if you have an opportunity to pursue something else, it may not be what, like I said earlier, it may not be what you dreamed of or what you wanted, but you can go to this school, one education, what makes it better than the other? Unless maybe you're thinking like Harvard or something like that. But you still have that opportunity. So if you still have an opportunity on the table, make the best of it. Like, make the best of it. Arkansas Tech, it ended up happening perfectly. But if I wouldn't have took the chance on Arkansas Tech and went somewhere else that I felt, who knows how things would have happened. So Arkansas Tech was never a number one option, but I ran with the opportunity that was given to me. Mm-hmm. And everyone has a different mind thought process, and that's okay. That's what makes the world go around. But for me, if that dream or that top goal isn't on the surface or there for me after all the work that I've put in, I'm not giving up on it. I'm just taking another route to get to it. Sometimes you just you got to take another route to get to that goal. You still want to be a reporter, and it'll be cool to go to Missouri, one of the top broadcasting schools in the nation. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you may have to go to Arkansas Tech, and you can still find your way to that goal in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't think that's a step back. Don't think you're failing. Don't think you're struggling. Don't think that. Just for life to pan out in a way that your mind has it panning out, everything has to go the right way. And the odds of that happening is rare. So it's okay if you have to steer in a different direction. It's okay. Just continue to have that drive to do what you want to do. And you're going to get there. You're going to get there.
Which lifestyle did you prefer personally? High school, well, I know you understand you're still in your parents' house, but you're still a kid. You still get to not have too many responsibilities. You don't have to worry about paying bills, and you just live it like kind of fully to the fullest. Or college, where you're on your own now, more freedom, but obviously still bills and stuff now, but you have your own freedom. Which lifestyle did you prefer more?
That's a great question. That's a tough question because I enjoyed both to the fullest. High school and college, I love them both. I'm going to go with
a respectful answer.
I got to pick one. That's tough. I'm going to go with college. I will go with college because I learned a lot in school. Learned a lot in high school, but you really can learn more when you have to do them by yourself. Do it by yourself. Money management, just life in general, scheduling, sleepless nights you're going to have. You still got to get up and do your thing the next day. Fun, sports, just everything. College is as life as in its own world, in my opinion. It's a life in its own world, and it's nothing like it. I'll tell a lot of kids, if you have an opportunity to experience it, do it. Even if it's just 1 year and you don't feel that it's for you, you learn a lot. And I get college not for everybody. I'm not saying go to college. Like that's the only way to be successful. This is just, you learn a lot about yourself and just kind of about how life will be afterwards. And it's priceless.
Talking about that and getting into something else. I know you had your own sports radio talk show in college. Talk about that experience. How did that come into what it was, and what was it like doing that for you?
It was actually a class type of thing, and it was for credit. And me and my good friend Brian Allen, we both love sports, and we both love blues, old school. So it was a sports blues talk show. Kind of different in our opinion. You don't really see too many of those. So we're talking about sports and just doing whatever. Got the blues in the background. Felt like it was us. And we really had some good chemistry. I wish we could continue to do it, the radio show, man. But we had some good chemistry, and we would just talk about the playoffs, talk about anything that was going on in sports, and really just talking like we would talk at the house. Like we would honestly be at the house trying to plan a show, get on a topic, and then honestly just take that topic and that conversation. Oh, the show started in 10 minutes. We're just going to talk about this. So we would go. Welcome to KXRJ 91.9, The Real. You listening to Gary. This is Brian Devontae Allen. We're back for another one. What we've been talking about all day is this. And we'll just get straight into it. And we'll talk about it. And we don't know how many views or whatever it had, or how many people in Russellville listen to that station. But that was some good times every Monday at 7 to 8. That was some good times with BA. And just to be able to talk about sports, you can't beat it. If you didn't know, that's a dream that I would like to do, doing sports in news. So that was a day that where I felt like I was doing sports, and you know what I mean? But I'm still working towards that. This is kind of off subject, Dalen, but I always wanted to do sports, even though I always news, yes, definitely wanted to do sports. So I interned, and that's where it was like, okay, news is pretty cool. I can have a different, like I said, I can share, I can write a story in a different type of way. That's where I gained that. Sports has always been, man, because that's my love, sports. So to do that was cool. So I jumped into the field as a news reporter to get into the field. And ironically, I still want to do sports, but I can't see myself switching over because of the love that I've gained from news. So it's just one of those things again. Let it come to you. Yep. I got the offer in news. I really wanted to do sports. I'm going to do it, and here I am, loving news. Still able to do some sports, but still growing as a news reporter. You know what I mean? But yeah, to the radio show. That was some good times every Monday, and hopefully we can get that back going.
You talked about your blues music just then, and you also talked about it earlier, and I wanted to get to this, but I didn't. But I'm going to get to it now. What's your top 3 blues artists of all time? What's your top 3 go-to artists that you got to listen to?
The GOAT, Johnny Taylor.
Yep.
From Arkansas. The GOAT, Bobby Blue Bland. And this is always a toss-up. But number 3, I am going with Tyrone Davis. Them are the pillars in my eyes of blues. But Johnny Taylor and Bobby Blue Bland, you can't beat them. You can't beat them. You know how they are. You know who they are if you turn on a YouTube video of them talking. You don't even need the music. You don't even need the music. They solidified. Of course, you got your BB Kings. He's on Mount Rushmore, but he's not one of my favorite. But those are my top 3. What about you, man? You listening to blues?
It depends on like when and where. Like if I go some throwback, I might throw some Bobby Womack on. Sir Charles Jones may be something I go to real quick. Then probably my top 2. Maybe my great grandmother, she loved what's her name? I can't think of her. No Pain, No Gain. What's her name?
Peggy Scott?
No, I can't even think of her name. I'm gonna search it up. We gonna mid record. We gonna search it up. We gonna
do it for Granny, man.
No Pain, No Gain. What's her name? Betty Wright.
Betty Wright. Okay, Betty Wright.
But I love me some Bobby Womack. I can listen to Bobby Womack all day, honestly speaking. Luther Vandross, I'm a big Marvin Gaye fan. Uh, Marvin Gaye is probably my go-to as well. I think that probably tops it off for me. I don't not too much, but if I do, Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Sir Charles Jones, Bobby
Okay.
Womack.
Okay. Okay.
Free.
Can't beat that lineup. You
Want to
can't
listen,
beat that.
want to listen to greatness around here, man.
You can't beat that with a hammer.
Uh, Arkansas Tech, man. 4 years there, man. I'm sure a great experience for you. Getting ready to graduate. What do you think's the next step for you after life? What do you think you want to pursue? What do you want to pursue, and what do you think is holding you for the future?
You said what was going through my head when I was about to graduate.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think the next step was waiting for you after college?
Um, I it was a scary time, honestly. I'm sitting there applying for jobs, and it's like I don't really want to just go back home, even though I want to go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I just didn't want to go back to a regular job, as in working back at a factory or working back at, just a summer type of job. I was ready to jump into the field. It's like I've been working hard for 4 years. Let's get it. I was really amped about getting started. And so I just continued to apply. And it was scary. What was going through my head was just, when is this going to happen? What do I need to do? I've interned, applied, got a nice reel, in my opinion. And I'll say this. I want to give a shout out to one of my professors in school, Christy Keller. Want to give you a shout out. Just became a grandmother. But she told me, because I was applying to very, very low markets because I just wanted to get into the field. And she pulled me in, and I don't really know nothing about the news industry or really the talent that it takes or what type of level of talent it is that's at different markets. So I just wanted to get in. I'm applying to, 200 markets that's in the 200s. And she pulled me over. She said, you better than that. You're better than what you're selling yourself for. And I was like, really? I mean, shouldn't I just try to get in the field? And she was like, no, you're at least top 100 to start off. She told me that. And that was the first time that someone in the field, actually, because she used to be in the field, that was the first time someone said pretty much, you good at this. And that was big for me. So even though that was the hope that I held on to as we go into graduation and afterwards, like, all right, I want to apply to those lower ones. I'll aim higher. And it happened. But that was just a time where I was just really discouraged. I was really discouraged because I really wanted it. It was just a matter of fact that I knew it was going to happen, but when? And then the offers was happening, and it's just, they were very low, as in, moving, there'll be more, put more strain on me than, getting paid in a sense. It's just nothing really worked out. She was like, you just keep working, just keep, I'm at my little summer job, and it's just like, man, did I do 4 years for nothing?
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many times that went in my head. Did I do 4 years for nothing? Like, will I be able to? And I've never been that type of guy. And that's really what proved to me that this is what I wanted to do, because I started acting extremely different because I wanted it really bad. That can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing at the same time, kind of acting differently. But I acted differently just because I was so focused on getting my career started. And I was just applying all day, checking emails all day, just hungry and just kind of forgetting a lot of stuff in life. Because I was focused. But when it came to graduation and what's next for me in life, that was a time, man. That was a time. I hit it good. Didn't nobody know I was, I wasn't depressed or nothing like that, but I really was ready to get my career started. I was just ready to get my career started, man.
Before I get out of the college life for you, talk about. I'm glad you represented it. Something I've never ever talked about with anybody, but your fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha. Talk about, was that something in high school that you wanted to really do going into college, or that's just something you picked up while at college? And talk about how that lifestyle, that relationship, that family bond helped you, continue working hard in college.
Mm-hmm. I known I wanted to be in Greek life. Mm-hmm. I know the pros of it because I have some family members that's in it. So I knew that I wanted to be a part of Greek life. Didn't know what organization in high school that I wanted to be a part of. But I got to school. Ironically, the Alphas was the only D9 organization on campus at the moment, because some things in the past that got some other organizations either suspended or, along those lines. So I knew some people from actually high school that pledged A5A at Tech. Actually, my dean went to high school with me. He was a senior when I was a freshman. So talking with him, speaking with him, being around the guys, and just really understanding what Alpha Phi Alpha is all about. You see how they move. You see their organizations. You see what they do. You saw it multiple times. It's just like, man, that's nice. And then my dad's twin, my Uncle Larry, I found out that he was an Alpha. He had died a while when I was younger. So I didn't really know this until I spoke to my parents about, hey, I think I made my decision that I want to be an Alpha. It was like, man, that's crazy because your uncle was an Alpha. And when I heard that, it was a done deal. I knew that was the path and the light that I wanted to pursue. And I did so. I crossed in spring 17, Trey Club, and Trey Club Tail Club. But actually being in the frat, I was actually with a frat brother last night out here in Mississippi, and he put it best. He said, "It's honestly the gift that keeps on giving." Because I'm not trying to get to Greek life on here, but no matter where you go, it's a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha that's near, and no matter what career field you're in, or no matter what state you're in life, or whatever, it's a brother that's going to be there to help you. And so for me, I need an interview with a doctor. I know that I can count on some of my doctors that are brothers to give me some information on COVID or whatever. That if I need that, they'll be there for me. If anything, if another field, if a doctor need a report, hey, you should hit me out on it. But just the camaraderie and the feeling of knowing that you have a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling. No matter what organization, not just Alphas. I have respect and love for all fraternities and sororities out there that value their principles on, being there for one another, uplift, upward steps. And we get a lot of negativity, but I feel that's because, for one, you haven't experienced it, so you wouldn't know. Also, the understanding of it is, it's deeper than the surface. You know, it's deeper than the surface to understand the feeling that it is to be a part of this great organization and the other organizations that's out there. It's a deeper understanding to
it. This question goes for me, but it goes for the listeners as well. Again with the Literate, but now Russellville. What's something in Russellville or somewhere in Russellville that you spent a lot of time at that will always be fun to you? And for me, what's a place on campus? Because I actually got accepted to Governor School this July, and I'm sure you
it.
appreciate that. I'm sure you know they said Arkansas Tech now. What's something on campus that you spend a lot of time at?
So around the city of Russellville, Front Street on Wednesdays, we would always go. Front Street had 50-cent wings on Wednesday, and they had karaoke. That would always be a good hump day activity. Come out, eat some wings, good karaoke. Actually, margaritas was $1 that night too. So it was a good time. And on campus, definitely Bass Tech. That's what it's called. Bass Tech is a great place. It's pretty much like the student union, yep. The student center type of thing. You go in there, they got the TVs up. It's a good time on campus. And I'll say this about Russellville. It's a quiet, good city, and good environment. And just like with anything, if you have a good surrounding people to enjoy with, it's nothing like it. It's a good feeling. But Bass Tech and Front Street, get you some 50-cent wings when you're down there on Wednesdays, man. Hopefully they still got that. That was the thing.
I believe so. After graduation, you now came back to Little Rock. It had some internships going for you at Fox 16 and KRIK. Talk about that experience. How did you get involved with that? And what did you learn from those internships that you maybe hadn't learned before?
Yeah. So I interned my junior summer year, so headed to senior year of college. So I interned that summer. Just to piggyback real quick on Alpha Phi Alpha, I wouldn't have got my internship if it wasn't for a brother that used to work at one of the stations. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just, they're there for you. We there for one another. And it's special. And so I interned there, and I'll say this, on the first day, my man, he told me this. He said, on the first day, you'll know if this is what you really want to do. On the first day, because it was different. In school, you know, the class that we had was a group of 3. And 1 week, you're the photographer. 1 week, you're the editor. 1 week, you're the reporter. And it'll rotate. So throughout the year, you're only doing a few packages, a few stories yourself. You know what I mean? You go there and you see how fast it is. And it's like, man, I got to do this every day. So it'll either excite you or it'll be like, wow, this is a lot. This is different from school. And you definitely learn that on the first day. Like, you see it. You see the pitch meetings. You see it from, you know, going out, shooting your own stuff, shooting your own interviews, looking for tips. You see all this one person doing this by themselves. It's like, man, it gave me adrenaline. And honestly, I didn't know too much about news. I didn't know too much about the codes. I just knew like VO and both sides, stuff like that. Nothing really too in-depth in it. But I took that internship and I ran with it, man. I'm talking staying there till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out editing tips and just trial and error by myself, trying to finish the story by myself. Because I would tag along with the reporter and they would do their thing, on their own. But I'd take the same stuff, the same clips, and write my own, you know what I mean? And track my own and create a whole piece it's their story, but I would create, my own piece. And to do that and be able to do that with the opinions and criticism of people that's in the field, and news director Ernie Paulson and Austin Kellerman, great people. To be able to do that there in my home city, around anchors and stuff that I grew up watching, Donna Terrell, Bob Clausen, Kevin Kelly, Ashley Katz, to be able to do that there and get it, experience from them, that was amazing. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for that short summer. It was just Tuesdays and Thursdays too, because I had to work as well because I played football during the year. I couldn't make any money, so I had to try to, so it was just Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if I was to do that all week, who knows how many more steps I could have taken. But just the Tuesdays and Thursdays at KRK4 and Fox 16, learning from those people, that couldn't be beat. Now, I owe so much to who I am as a reporter to them. I told you earlier that one of the guys from there, he said, "This is not you. You need to be Gary Burton." Mm-hmm. That lesson alone is worth $1 million, because that was a pillar step in who I became as a reporter, just off that alone. And then to learn so much and to shadow so many great reporters. Shadowed a reporter that's now in Tampa, Florida, a top 10 market. Shadowed a reporter that's out there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, covering George Floyd. Great reporters. One in Tallahassee. And they were hands-on with me. They saw that I wanted to learn, and even saw how far back I was, but saw how I wanted to learn, and they was okay with helping. And I owe so much to them. I really do. Charmaine Nero, Price McKeon, Mitch McCoy, Victoria, I forgot her last name. But those were the reporters that was there on the shift that I was working nightside on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And they really, really, really helped me out. Was always okay with, "Hey, do you mind if I record something? Do you mind if I do something?" "Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it." They could have approached that differently, but I'm forever grateful that they, in a sense, took me under their wing.
You talked about, of course, maybe even with the lifetime of opportunity to maybe still do sports. Going into this, and obviously now in Jackson, Mississippi, were you hesitant to get into news? And was there a tough transition from obviously your love and your already preparation from sports broadcasting to news broadcasting?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It was during the intern, because I did the intern definitely to get experience. I needed to and also tap my foot in the water, let the people pretty much introduce myself to the news world in a sense. And when I started interning and was out on different news stories, it's like, man, of course I never minded doing news, just always with sports. That was like, I'm gonna be a sports reporter. Mm-hmm. But to actually go out and see it and to see how it operates, to see how it works, to see that it's a broad scale to work with as well. Fun news, crime, government, politics. It's so much to do. Infrastructure, world, city. There's so much to do in news, and to see that, it's like, wow. I got a big playing field to play with. But at the same time, I got my baby, sports. Do I want to tap in, get into it, and try to reroute to sports? Or do I want to grind it out and hopefully I get a sports gig? And I'm glad that I went with news because, like I said, I'm able to learn a different type of way it is in this field. That's needed. And if I do get blessed with a sports opportunity, or if I don't, I'm not dwelling on it because, like I said, I love news. I love it. I really do. And it's not a torn between the two type of thing anymore. It was then. It's not a torn between the two. And I can say it again. It just came to me. It just happened. You know, I was okay with accepting it. As in accepting, this ain't bad. It's not sports, but this ain't bad. It came to me, I accepted it, and I'm glad to be here. You know what I mean? I'm glad to be here. No regrets on it. Couldn't see it. It's like, wow, I'm gonna do news. And it's still people that hit me up, you know, because they know that I want to do sports. It's still people that's waiting on you to cover the game, you know, your time coming. And it's like, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm okay. If it comes, hey, but I'm good. Like, news is great. News is great. You talk to a lot of people in news, meet a lot of people, amazing people that sports wouldn't grant you with. And you can do both really with news. You really can. You really can.
How now in Jackson, how has the city of Jackson been able to treat you so far? I know you haven't been there too much before the pandemic hit, and obviously a lot of stuff changed, hence that. But even within that, how has the city of Jackson been able to treat you? How much have you enjoyed being there now, outside of Arkansas for the first time?
I enjoy Jackson. Um, it's a lot like home. South. It's the South. You know, hospitality is on 10. I will say the crime is a little bit higher. It's definitely ramped up out here. Like I said, 60 killings, and we're just in June in 2021. But the people are great. Besides the potholes, you know, the potholes are extreme out here. But besides the potholes, I mean, I live in a nice place to commute to work. Like I said, the people are great. They don't mind, you know, saying hey to you. I still feel like I'm home in a way. I look at it like this: Little Rock to Fayetteville, which I would go quite often, is 3 hours roughly. I'm 4 away from home, you know. So it's to say if I was in Fayetteville, it's the same thing, you know. So I still feel like I'm at home. I don't feel like I'm too far. So I still have that feeling that I'm welcome. And the people here, they make me feel that way. I love where I work. Great group of reporters and salespeople and everybody at WJTV. It's a great group of people. Just like any place, you're gonna have your days at work. But the days here in Jackson are less. You have more great days than bad days here, and you can't ask for anything better.
You said something at the very beginning, and I'm getting to my last couple of questions, and I appreciate you again. But you said something at the very beginning, and I wrote it down. It stuck with me the entire time. You said that you obviously you love the city of Jackson, but this isn't your final destination. This isn't your final stopping point. For you personally, where do you wish that final stopping destination would be, and where would you be willing, of course, to go to for that final destination?
Yeah, that's a money maker question right there, Dalen. Um, after, and I had this conversation with a guy at work after my whole ordeal with not applying to Mississippi and things of that. I struggle with even thinking about that question now because of the fact that somewhere that I slept on so much, Mississippi, legit found me, you know. But if I had to answer the question and to say a state-wise, I've always had this thing about living in Arizona. Uh, you know, I've always had this thing, man. You got my sons there, not far from LA, not far. You know, it's a nice place. I feel I haven't even been to Arizona, but if I was to just think about a final place or a place that I wouldn't mind living, Arizona would be somewhere. And even to a different extent of your question, as in final destination, you get in this field and you see that there are so many ways and places that this field can take you, which is the beauty of it. And you sit and think, will news consume my whole career life? You know, will I do this forever? That has crossed my mind. I still love what I do. And I have no, I'm sorry. I still love what I do, and I have no reason as of right now to even think that this is not what I do forever. But the fact that it's so much that you can do out there in this field, it just make you think maybe reporting is not my last thing. You know, you've seen a lot of people go to PR. You've seen a lot of people do different other things that they love, that this field is taking them to. So you don't know. And no one ever really knows. But I can sit and say there's a possibility that reporting may be done for me one day because it's just so much out there, and that I wouldn't mind if the opportunity presents itself one day. Right now I'm good, but that I wouldn't mind diving into, you know, just to see how different things are. But Arizona, it sounds pretty nice.
I stuck to that as well. I'm just the same. I don't know why, but I really want to go to Arizona. I've never been, but I feel that might be a final destination for myself as well. I've never been. I really want to go. I'm not even that big on heat and hotness, but I really
Mm-hmm.
want to go. I really
Okay.
want to go. There's something about it, man. And I talked about this earlier, but I want you to just be, even if you can, be a little bit more broader. I'm big on a legacy. Whenever God says my time is up, that's fine. But I want to be known for what it is that I've been able to do. I want to
Yeah.
leave the best legacy possible for you personally. Uh, 200 years from now, someone searches up your name. What do you want them to know that maybe you didn't get to tell everybody else? Maybe you didn't get to put out. What do you want people to know about you at the end of the day?
Yeah, I want people to know that uh, my name is Gary Burton Jr., and I'm a junior because the man who raised me. Um, I am my father's legacy. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And the things that I'm doing now, um, um, it's so much in me that's like him. And he taught me everything that I know and everything that I do. So being me, who he taught me to be, is the best way to honor my father. And that's how I look at it. And so to the extent I need people to know that Gary Burton Jr. was Gary Burton Jr. He stayed true to who he is. And he enjoyed what he did. He liked to laugh. He liked to, I feel like I'm writing my obituary. he liked to laugh. He liked to make people smile. He just wanted to bring a bit of light to the newscast, whether it was in the A block or maybe Gary's story didn't hit until the D block. You know, maybe it wasn't newsworthy. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. I care about just making someone smile in their living room when the 10 o'clock news come on. You know, putting a smile on someone's face. And I know the business, you're gonna have serious hard news that has to be covered. That has to be covered. But anytime there's a chance I can make someone smile or put a twist on something to make someone say, that was all right. That's what really kind of, I don't like to be cliche and say that's what wakes me up in the day, but that's really what makes me not, that makes me love my job, man. And hopefully that shines and continue to shine. Hopefully I'm able to continue to do that for a while, whether it's news or in any other thing. I just want to make someone smile with whatever it is that God is blessing me to do in that time of life.
Is the short notice that we've gotten to know each other, I'm sure your family's proud of you, and I'm sure your father's looking down at you, and he's very proud of you. So you keep doing what you're doing. Um,
For sure.
Keep working, man. I can't even express it enough. Keep doing what you love to do. Keep being, you keep leaving the legacy that you want to live, that you want to leave. So you keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you for coming to sit down with me. For the listeners that may not, that I didn't get to a question they may want to get to, if you're willing to put out any social medias to the listeners that they can follow you on, hit you with a DM, anything on any social medias.
Yeah, man. Instagram is Gary Burton underscore TV. My Twitter is Gary B underscore WJTV or Gary B underscore TV. Got two accounts. Facebook, Gary Burton Jr. You got anything, man? Anything that you guys want to ask me or advice, anything? Talk to me about sports. I'll hit you back. If you got some trash talk, I'll dish you back too. But anything, man, I'm open. I'm an open book. Don't let a lot of people. I just don't let for people that do end up getting somewhere and getting to where they want to be. Don't let that make you forget people or act differently. Please don't. You can hit me up and I'll talk to you. I love people, you know, and that'll never change. That'll never change. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And before I end, I have to ask you something. I can't get interviewed the whole time. I'm normally the interviewer. Man, tell me how you got into this. I mean, you're 16 years old and doing great, man. I'm extremely proud of you just from the outside in. When I'm back in Little Rock, we got to go eat or something, man. But talk to me about your journey.
I appreciate that. Again, 16, I'll be 17 exactly next Sunday. Um, this is what I've been wanting to do since I was 11. I talked about Stuart Scott. God rest his soul again, but his energy, his compassion, his love for what he did made me, when growing up, when I was little, I couldn't sleep without TV on because I was afraid of the dark. So I would always put it on Sports Center, and sometimes I would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and Stuart Scott would be on my TV. Stuart Scott and Scott Van Pelt would be on my TV, and I would sit there at 2:30 in the morning laughing my butt off because I love to hear "Booyah" or "He's cooler than the other side of his pillow." That energy, and it wasn't even just because he was on TV. He was him, and people gravitated to who he was as a person. Um, and him doing that at the time, there wasn't, we see, growing a lot in not only us and males, but females, but the African American culture in the world, the field of journalism at that time, it wasn't nowhere near where it is today. And so for him to be battling cancer, uh, in the midst of so many other things and still have fun and what he loves to do, there was nothing better. Um, I started this last June. I was at home more than often anywhere else because, of course, the pandemic. And I said, why not do something with my time that I want to do? And I said, let's start a podcast. That's been something I've been trying to work on. Never got to it. My mom said, let's do something. I said, let's do it. And sure enough, here we are a year later on the second season. I didn't think I was going to get through the first season. Here I am on the second. So, Stuart Scott, I'm a big Derrick Rose fan. I started taking sports seriously about 2011. That's when I really started being able to understand what sports really was. If you got to see Derrick Rose, man, in 2011, you know some special stuff, man. So, and, and D Rose is a lovable guy, man. He doesn't have really flaws on his resume, and he's always been respectable. And I love Chicago guys, and I love me a Simeon guy as well. So I just doing what I love, man. I love the game of sports. I love it. I don't have too many people, that can with the people that talk about sports, but on the level that I like, the level that I can talk about basketball, football, baseball, soccer, bowling, softball a little bit. I can get into swimming. I can talk about many different things at a more longer and higher level than most people. And so I just love sports, man. I'm passionate about my teams, even though a lot of them suck right now, but I'm passionate about what I do. I'm still working on things such as writing. I love to storytell. I used to be a public speaker, and that's of course carrying on. And I think I just have a great storytelling mind. So I'm just doing what I love to do, really.
Two more questions, if you don't mind. We
Go
got time.
ahead. Yeah.
Got you. Where is it that you want to go? What is
In college,
now as in future career? Like, what is it right now that you think that you want to do?
I want to keep the podcast going, of course.
Got you.
I think solely I want to kind of be in your range, but sports wise, being a sideline reporter. I have a mentor by the name of Kevin Cuenca. He used to work for CBS Los Angeles. Shout out to my guy Kev. Um, and the things he's been able to teach me have helped me learn into it. And also being a style reporter. Shout out to Play by Play Sports Broadcast Camp. Had them on for the first episode of season 2. I went to their camp a couple of years ago at SMU in Dallas. And really, I had no idea what I wanted to do specifically in the journalism world. But they had us practicing everything: highlights, play by play, on the camera, behind the camera, writing. And there was a time where we went outside. It was about 4 of us in a group. Went outside. A man gave me a microphone, put me on the camera, told me to talk. I said, oh, here I'm Dalen Flowers at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, and the Cardinals just swept the Cubs 4-3 in the last day of Saturday. And I talked perfectly. And from that moment, he said that was a great job. I think I said I want to be a sideline reporter. I just fell in love with it ever since then. Sideline reporting podcast, studio host. I don't want to be I don't think play by play such as like Mike Breen, Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, such as that is me. Of course, if that opportunity would come, I would more than likely accept it and pursue that role and grow as much as I can. But that's not the things that I really want to be, though.
And my last one, you've interviewed some great people so far in just a short amount of time getting started. One, what was the most, and I don't want to have you to boil down any to one, but so far, who has been the, like, man, I'm about to interview so-and-so. Who has that been? And also, when it comes to, I'm gonna let you answer that first, and I'll ask the last question.
I'll break it down to some of my best interviews that I feel like I've done, or some of the people I haven't even talked to ever before until I got on the Zoom and started talking to you guys. You right here we had a great conversation. Joe Booker, Broadway Joe, he's known in Arkansas. I had talked to him once before, but he is genuinely the most down to earth guy I may have ever met.
And Broadway Joe.
He's down to earth. He loves to help people, and he's as nice as possibly can be. And he loves to give advice, and he loves you. So he was pretty awesome. I had a guy named Dominique James who played at Marquette and played basketball in the G League and overseas now. And he's training now in Tennessee with his wife. His wife played at Kentucky. And we have grown like a big brother, little brother bond. And so my interview with him was great as well. I mean, every episode has been great. It's had flaws at times, but getting to know a lot of people has been awesome. People that I've interviewed that I would say like, wow, I'm going to talk to them. Broadway Joe again, because I mean, if you're from Arkansas, and especially I said this with him, my Aunt Margaret, who I call TT, you ever ride with her, she's got power 92.3 in her car bumping it. So when you, for so many years, hear him, and then you're getting a chance to speak with him, it's pretty cool.
Hootie hoo.
I just sat down with Jay Harris, Sports Center. He's been in journalism for 30 years, almost 18 years now at ESPN. I even told him before, I said, I haven't been nervous too many times, but I'm pretty nervous right now. My heart is bumping down my chest. And he said, don't be nervous. We're just talking. But again, when you see someone such as Jay Harris be on your TV, an African-American male, for so long, you kind of look up to him. And again, him being so close to Stu, and I love Jay, but Stewart was my number one. And I'm not going to deny that. I probably shouldn't say that. I should probably say Stu was just up there, but I'm not going to lie to anyone. Stuart Scott is the reason that I wanted to become a sports journalist. I'm not going to lie. And Fred McLeod, too. Rest in peace, Fred McLeod as well. But Jay Harris was probably another one. Let's see. Who else did I do in season one? Kobe Hamilton, former Arkansas Razorback wide receiver, and then played in the league for the Bengals. He was a part of that Bobby Petrino era, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl. That was some of the best times for Razorback football, especially for my generation. That was pretty great. And I've been able to there's just some people I haven't even interviewed, but I still text and talk to. And it's like, wow, I'm getting to know this guy. So yeah, just for the podcast, I had an opportunity to talk with David Robinson, NBA Hall of Famer, one of the greatest centers ever played a game. That's, you think of David Robinson, I automatically think greatest centers ever played, but I also think, look at the connections David Robinson had. People, David Robinson knows Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan knows Greg Popovich. Yeah. So it's just like, I haven't made it. I'm nowhere near made it, but the progression that God has allowed me to get to, I can't be more thankful enough for that. And all of it is thanks to my mother, and I can't thank her enough either.
She definitely did her thing, man. And this is last question. It's a good advice question for you to give to the people, I guess. You started off with the podcast thing. So you, like you said, now you're speaking with Hall of Famer David Robinson. You've had ISO Joe Johnson, Jay Harris. Can you speak to, and I've shared mine where I aimed low. You're aiming high, as into what was it that clicked to say, I'm going to reach out to Jay Harris, see if I can get him on my show. A lot of people wouldn't even think of that. A lot of people would, they try and interview their friends to try to, get their podcast on. What was it in you that said, I'm aiming high to make my podcast is what it is? I'm going for Broadway Joe. I'm going for Kobe Hamilton. You know what I mean? that can be a challenge for someone to accept to do. You know, like Devin Booker's from Mississippi. I've reached out to Devin Booker for an interview. You know what I mean? He played ball in Mississippi, but it's just like, is it if it happens, it happened thing? You know, what is it with that? Because these some big time people.
It's two things actually. Number one is I've contacted a lot of high profile people, and surprisingly enough, they responded. They just respectively rejected, and I had to live with that. But I would beat myself up if I had the opportunity to reach out to Devin Booker, Monty Williams, whoever it is, and I don't do it. Regardless if I only have 200 followers and they have 5 million, I'm still going to reach out because you never know. What if they're being fun one day? So I'm going to look at my DMs to see who's texting me and they see it and respond. I would beat myself up. I would. You have to reach out. Even if they don't respond, they reject whatever. I've been rejected many times by a lot of people that I really want to interview. I still reach out because at the end of the day, I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, I'm a journalist. You can't be shy to get your voice out there. You can't be shy to talk to other people. You can't be shy to try to get, as many people as possible to get to what you're doing. And so it's just about taking a chance, man. Hopefully God's blessing sends them your way. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. The other thing is connections. Again, shout out to Miss Nicole Griffin. I've had the opportunity to know a lot of people that know these people. Again, I've been wanting to do this since I was 11. This isn't just something I've been doing for, I started the podcast a little over a year ago, but this isn't just something that's been in the making for a year. I've been doing this for a while. So I've been able to know these people and they understand that I'm only 16, I'm only 15, I'm only 14, but I'm respectful, I'm mature, and I'm really want to do this. Yeah. And so when they see someone at that young of an age, willing, respectful, and peaceful for what their wishes are and trying to reach the next level, they're going to help you. I promise you of that. And you can't act that way just that day. It's something that, you get that switch on your butt and you learn the discipline at a young age, and it's kept me going. I come from a family where we joke a lot. We talk about each other a lot within each other, but at the end of the day, it's respect to the people that we don't know, to each other, of course, when we're not joking around, because I'm carrying a last name on my back. And my great-grandfather, who turned 90 in May, I don't want him gone and me saying I didn't carry the family name on right. That's not what I want to do. I want to have the best family names possible. So just connections, not being able to reach, not being afraid to reach out, even if you get rejected or they don't respond. Those are the two things. And just being respectful, man. I've been blessed with the opportunity to know a lot of people, and those people knowing some more people. And, some of the connections I've had have come with people that I just not get in contact with. We do the interview. I kept in contact. I stayed respectful. I stayed peaceful. And we became like a real friend type bond, even if they're like 40 years old. And then I don't even have to ask. They just say, hey, I got a guy for you who would love to do an interview.
Indeed. Connections. Yeah.
And I'm just being me. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing anything. I'm just being me. And then, they're like, hey, I got a couple of guys. Or even if I do ask, they're like, oh yeah, I got you, bro. Just give me a couple of days. I'm gonna contact some people and then I'll let you know, nigga, get back with me. So it's all about being that. And I can't thank God enough. And I can't thank my mother enough, my family enough. So that's it.
It's a beautiful thing, man. And I just want to say again, I'm proud of you. And you definitely, I wish I started off at 16. You know what I mean? Like that's just amazing to know that you focused head on and know what you want to do, and you going at it and swinging. You're swinging like no other, man. I'm proud of you, man.
I appreciate that.
Glad to know we got another one from ARK that's doing it like this, man. That's amazing. I'm always in your corner, man. Let me know if you need anything.
Always.
Anything. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
keep
man.
doing you, man. We appreciate you again. And I didn't get to this. If any shout outs you want to give to anybody, regardless of who or where it is.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my mother, Jawanda Burton. I want to give a shout out once again to my heavenly dad. Just had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Pop. My sis, my nephew, WJTV, and just the world, man. Just want to give a shout out to the world. Let's keep it going around. Let's keep it going around. Struggle right now with the pandemic, but we all continue to do our part. We'll get back to the beautiful world that we know it. So I love everybody. Love everybody. Keep spreading love. Glass is always half full. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. Again, we thank you for coming spending time with us out of your schedule, man. It means the world to me. And again, I'll keep in contact with you. And let me know when you're back in the city. We gotta do something.
Most definitely.
And for the listeners, this was a long one. I hope y'all stuck through it. But hey, it was a long one, but y'all got a lot of vital information. Y'all got to laugh, and y'all even got to hear me get interviewed. When y'all ever gonna get a 3-in-1 like that? Never ever. So if you're still sticking in, we appreciate you. We love you. We wish nothing but the best for you from here on out. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys. God bless everyone.
A506.